Hello, everybody. Welcome back to episode 2 of Getting My Shit Together. Do I have my shit together? Absolutely not. Will I get my shit together? I'll do my best and I'll die trying. But I guess, we're taking it day by day and slowly getting to where we want to be. So, yeah, welcome back, everyone. If you're joining me here on YouTube or on my passes, shameless plug. I hope everyone enjoyed episode 1. This has definitely been a learning experience for me. Talking by myself for a full half an hour is definitely a challenge. So yeah, the podcast is probably going to be around like 25 minutes, 20 minutes to 30 minutes. I'm not gonna lie, it's definitely a struggle to get that time in talking by yourself, but you know what? I never shut the absolute fuck up. So that's a plus. Shout out to all my teachers who used to put the comments on my report cards of never pays attention, talks too much in class. Well, guess what? Mrs. Granny Apple Smith, or whatever the fuck your name was in my first grade class. I remember reading that on my report card, and I was so scared to come home to show my parents because I literally never shut the fuck up, even as a child and even as now. My job right now is just talking to people and never shutting the fuck up. And you know what? I'm very blessed for that. So I do have a lot of things to talk about, and I can talk for a long time. But I will say it was a little, it was an adjustment talking, by myself and getting the groove, but I feel like I'm getting there. But yeah, welcome to episode 2, where I have some things written down here, but I think it's an appropriate episode to do a life update, a mental health check, if you will. We'll see how things are going in the land of Lyndi. And I want you guys as well to, listen to this episode and maybe do a little mental health check-in love with yourself in it, and go over the things that you're feeling and maybe pinpointing things that you're not so happy with, pinpointing things that you are happy with. You got to celebrate the wins in life, but sometimes you got to reach into that dark abyss of a mind and really, that episode of SpongeBob where his brain is on fire, but his brain is basically a corporate cubicle. There's cabinets and filing cabinets on fire in his head. That's what my brain has been like for the year of 2023. I've constantly felt like my brain is on fire. I'm not able to compartmentalize anything. I've just dissociated a lot. So I feel like in this past month, I've taken the time to really, dissociate more. No, I'm just kidding. Well, kind of call back on the memories and really go through the traumas of 2023 and the things that happened this year and be like, wow, this happened. This is how I feel about it. And this is how I'm going to deal with it. And you know what? That's part of getting your shit together. That's part of it. It's facing the hard things. And that's something that I've come to realize this year is that you can't just run away from your problems. Surprise! Surprise, everybody. You simply cannot dissociate and pretend that nothing is wrong until it goes away, because it never goes away. But yeah, I'm going to do a little mental health check-in with myself, because I feel like talking about it will help other people, do this for themselves and, keep me accountable as well. I've been doing I could be better, but it also could be worse. And I understand the problems that I'm going to talk about. Other people can relate, other people can't relate, but this is just my life and what I'm going through. And it's important to talk your problems out, not only just with the podcast. Trust me, I'm in therapy, okay? I'm not trying to solve all my life problems through a podcast. Trust me. I'm trying to, I've taken the steps. I'm going to therapy. Shout out my therapist. I'm feeling okay. Could be better, but also could be worse. I feel like if there was a scale 0 to 100%, on the mental health scale, I would probably be at like a like maybe like a 35, 40, which is still a failing grade, but you know what? There's effort being put forth, and you know it's not 0%. I feel like what I've gone through in the last few weeks is that I've put so much on my plate on top of already things that I'm going through that it's become hard for me to time manage things that I need to get done and things that I want to get done. Which is basically why this podcast is so late. I apologize. I'm planning on recording podcasts probably every 2 weeks. Obviously, the listeners are going to be able to listen to the podcast a week early on my passes, and then I'll release it to YouTube. But I haven't even been able to sit down and record a podcast because my time management has been so bad. And you know, when you have ADHD and you know you have so much to do and so much going on, that you start to shut down rather than go make a list and do things one by one and get it done like a normal, completely normal, sane person. But you know, when the universe made me, they sprinkled just a lot of mental illness, ADHD, and a very hyperactive imagination into the whatever pot that I got stirred in, because holy shit, my time management has been so bad lately, and I've been kicking myself in the butt for it, which just makes me put things off even more. God damn it. I think I've been having such a hard time balancing work and then things that I want to do, like reading. I haven't been able to read in literal months because I have this mental note in my head, like a sticky note sticking right in between my fucking eyeballs that I can't get past, of you need to do this, you need to put this work in, and you need to get it done now before you do anything else. And if you don't get that done, you are a goddamn piece of shit. When that's not even the fucking case, god damn it. And that's not a case for a lot of you too, and I know a lot of people are like this as well. And I'm looking at you guys. I'm looking at you, the listener, listening to this right now. You can put yourself first and still get work done. I know. Isn't that fucking insane to think about? Like, I genuinely, tonight, after I record this podcast, I'm going to sit down with my goddamn iPad in my sticky fingers and get fingerprints all over my goddamn pink little iPad and be an iPad kid and read my smutty little silly fantasy book, because that's what I want to do, and that's what brings me joy, and that's a hobby that I have, and that's something that I should prioritize in my life because it genuinely helps my mental health. And I think my mental health has significantly declined within the last month because I've been putting work in and only doing work and only worrying about work, and then worrying if my work's not doing well, and really putting that pressure on me and not having that time to just sit down, relax, and be a fucking human. And I think a lot of people need to do that as well. Like, a lot of people don't even have hobbies nowadays. And some people can't have hobbies because they simply do not have time. They have a family, they have a job, they have a lot of things to juggle. And I think that is something that's so important. It's just even penciling a small little time. Like, this isn't things that I do, but like, go golfing, do a sport that you like, go sports, read a book, go outside, sit at a park, get some fresh air, go on a walk. That is one thing that I still have made time for, is going on my silly little mental health hot girl walks. That is something that I will always prioritize because exercise is something that is very, very important to me in my mental health journey and my health journey. But yeah, hobbies. Pick up a book, read it. It's not gonna kill you, Lindsay. It's not gonna fucking kill you. Yeah. So that's my one thing, time management. It's something I'm working on. Also something that I need to check myself on, and a lot of you bitches need to check yourself on, is being a goddamn people pleaser. Oh, don't look at me like that. Don't look around at your friends. Don't look at anyone else. I know, being a goddamn people pleaser. And a lot of people mistake being a people pleaser, be like, oh no, I'm just being nice. You are too damn nice. You are too damn nice. Absolutely. You are giving people more than they fucking deserve, babe. More than they deserve. I used to be the type that someone could literally call me a stupid bitch whore cunt. Yes, I'm going to swear on this podcast a lot. So, maybe just if you're listening in a car or out loud, like maybe have like a little AirPod in, or maybe, I don't know, if you're listening with your 3-year-old daughter, maybe don't. But someone can insult me. Someone can beat me into the ground and I would have said sorry. But not anymore. Not anymore. I have put my goddamn foot down because I genuinely used to be a fucking doormat. I used to let people walk all over me. I used to let people, just do whatever the fuck they wanted to me because I thought I would be rude, sticking up for myself, or even telling them I was uncomfortable with something, or even saying the word no to people sometimes gave me a fucking anxiety attack. And I am so fucking happy that I've realized in my life that saying no is something that you have the right to say no to anything. You don't have to do anything you don't want. Anything. But I've caught myself being a people pleaser lately, and I needed to reel it the fuck back, babe. Reel it back. We're not going through this shit again. So this might be like super specific, but I don't know if anyone else is like this. But does anyone else feel like, when you're having a conversation with somebody, this isn't like being a people pleaser thing, but it kind of goes along as well, so I'm going to mention it. When you're talking with somebody and, they send you like a really big paragraph and it's a really big paragraph, but what they're saying is kind of manipulative. Well, no, babe, it's not kind of manipulative. It's gaslighty and it's manipulative. And you feel like you have to respond with a big paragraph back. No, you don't. I don't know if this is like, again, oh my God, I'm being a people pleaser. Like literally, I was going to say maybe that's petty. It's not petty. You don't owe them anything. You do not have to respond with a huge fucking paragraph back. You can simply say, I do not like the way you're talking to me right now and the way you're treating me. I'm going to exit this conversation. Have a good day. I have always felt like I needed to respond with a even bigger paragraph back because I feel like I would upset the person more. Ding, 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 people pleaser. I would upset the person more if I didn't respond with more words or the exact same words back. I don't know if that's just trauma, babe, but fuck me. That is one of like my biggest things that I had to work on. But you know what? You don't need to respond with a goddamn huge paragraph back, okay? You really don't. And you can just say no. You can simply say no. Let's all say it together. Ready? 1, 2, 3. No. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming to my concert. Okay, moving on. You know what? Actually, I'm going to move on to my next topic. We can come back to the mental health in a couple minutes. But I feel like this kind of will segue into something that I wanted to talk about. Because it's kind of part of like my mental health journey, and this goes along with the people pleasing little problems that I'm having. So I am newly single for the first time in my 11 years. Since 11 years, I was in a relationship from when I was 15 years old to when I was 26, and I'm 26 now, and I am currently learning how to date within my, within this world in the dating game right now, which I truly cannot give you any fucking advice on that because I'm still trying to learn and understand, and I barely fucking know. And I don't think I'm going to know, and I don't think anyone's going to know because the way that dating is nowadays, and I'm going to say, oh, back in my day, which I didn't even know back in my day. Back in my day, I had a boyfriend in high school, and then I got out of my relationship in high school, and then I got into another relationship. So, like, I don't even know how dating is. or how it was back then. My idea of like dating, like back in the day, is like, oh, a man will court somebody or court a woman, and or you know, you see like those like little corny like movies, like they'll like go out to a drive-in movie and then like they'll stand outside like your window with a fucking boombox. That's not how it is nowadays. We meet people on dating apps, or you go out to a bar, or you go to a yoga class, and that's how you meet people. But no one wants to talk to each other. We're all fucking awkward. And I blame that on social media, and I blame that on our phones, because I think it is, I talked about this the other day, but I'm going to bring it up again. I think that a lot of people dehumanize a lot of people on dating apps, because I was listening to this on Leo Skepi's podcast as well. So shout out him. He's fucking amazing. I highly recommend listening to his podcast. He's one of the people that really inspired me to start my own podcast. But he made a good point, and I talk about being dehumanized on the internet because I'm constantly fucking dehumanized on the internet, and a lot of creators are as well. And just people in general are so dehumanized on the fucking internet, because behind a screen, we are not people to other people. We are just silly little pictures and silly little icons with voices, or like silly little clowns on stream entertaining you for hours. I'm not saying everyone thinks that way, but I'm just saying a lot of people really do think this way, in that we don't have real emotions. But the thing is, bitch, I'm a fucking human being. My feelings aren't entertainment to you. My feelings aren't, currency. My suffering isn't your happiness. Like, you are fucking weird if you think that way. And a lot of people really do think that way nowadays. And it translates to dating apps. I've realized that a lot. And you know what? I caught myself. I went on a really bad date. I'm going to get into this story here soon. I went on a really, really bad date, and I was like, I don't even want to message this guy again because the date was that bad. But, I was like, if I went on a date with somebody and I was completely unaware that it was that bad, I'll get to that. I would want that person to be straight up and blunt about the date being bad, and that I didn't want to see them again, or they didn't want to see me again. So I literally put my big girl pants on and I texted them. So let's get into the story of this horrible fucking date, because it goes along with people pleasing as well. So I went on a date a few weeks back with this guy. I matched with him on Hinge. It was just like a normal match. We talked. He asked me out literally the day that he messaged me. And I like when people are pretty forward, and I like when people take initiative with me and say, hey, I would love to go out with you. Let's go out. And like, if I say yes, they'll say, okay, let's go out here at this time. I don't like this. Where do you want to go? You can pick. I'm very much, how do you say, a baptême, oui, oui. So I don't really like making the decisions. I like to just go along with it. And I like to be, have a silly little surprise or a silly little drink at a silly little place, So, he asked me out. He asked me on a date. He said, let's do it tonight. And I said, okay, which was like, cool. He was cute. He seemed nice. Maybe I should take some more time to get to know somebody before going out on a date with them. But I was very spontaneous, feeling very, I don't know, spunky and spicy. That's what I tried to say. And I was like, you know what? YOLO. I'm new to dating. I'm just going to do it. So, we ended up going out to this wine bar, and I met him, and he like looked like his pictures, but kind of did not look like his pictures. But either way, he was attractive. I was attracted to him. But the conversation started off, he like seemed a little nervous, which is totally normal. A lot of people are nervous on the first date. I usually get nervous, but I'm a super talkative person. Like, when I talk to you, I just like want to get to know you. I'm very personable. I love saying people's names when I talk to them, because I feel like that's more like personable to them. Like, I will say like, oh, hey, Rebecca, or like, Rebecca, you want to do this? Rebecca. I say Rebecca. My name was supposed to be Rebecca, by the way. Disgusting. Imagine me as a Becky. So I was just like talking to him, like, hey, trying to get to know him. And we're like talking. He seems a little nervous, and like we're talking and stuff. And the conversation, we're not even like 10 minutes in, and he starts like talking about our children and like how beautiful our children would be. And we're not even in the fucking wine bar yet. We're literally sitting outside of the wine bar waiting to go in. And I'm like, okay, like, haha, like I'm just like laughing. And like me being a people pleaser, I was just trying to laugh it off and take it as a joke. I should have been like, okay, dude, like that's a little weird, you know, don't you think? Like, I didn't know if he was trying to be funny or whatnot. You know, surprise, boy was not being funny because this came up again. So we go inside, we start talking. We're just like having conversation, and the conversation's kind of like meh. I genuinely had to ask a lot of the questions. I had to keep the conversation going, which I fucking hate. I like a person where I can just bounce off of you and I don't have to continue the conversation like on my fucking back. Like, goddamn, my fucking back hurt that entire time. I just like banter. I like silly banter. I like laughing. And there wasn't like a lot of that happening. It was just like me asking questions, him answering. And then I realized this was probably happening because he had mentioned that he had been drinking all day since brunch. And at that time, it's like 9:30, 10 o'clock. So dude has been drinking, and he literally said, I'm sauced. Like he was drinking. So he showed up to our first date. I don't know if he was drunk or buzzed, but either way, surprise. He texted me a few days later saying he was sauced, so I assume he was drunk. But he showed up drunk to our first date, which is honestly super unattractive, like, to me. And like it just put me off so fucking much, and I really wanted to go home right there and then, and I should have, but the people pleaser in me sat there, smiled, and just, you know, in my head I was like, oh, he paid for this bottle of wine, like I feel bad. Also, sorry, I just fucking sneezed. Bless me. He paid for this bottle of wine, so I'm just gonna sit here, I'm gonna have a conversation, then I'm gonna go home. Because like I was like feeling bad, and I shouldn't fucking feel bad. If someone shows up drunk to the first fucking date, you should just go the fuck home because it gets worse. He like literally kept mentioning, he called me his future wife. He kept mentioning our future kids. Like he kept talking about our relationship together. And I just met bro for the first time, not even a fucking hour ago. And I should have ordered my Uber right there and fucking then, bitch. I learned my fucking lesson. I slapped myself on the wrist when I got home. It was so goddamn bad. It was so bad. And like as like we were like talking, and like I was like, he kept asking me to like go out with him like after the wine bar. I was like, no, I have to work. And he kept saying like, no, come out, like come out. I was like, no, I like really can't come out, like I'm sorry, I appreciate like the date and stuff. And he was just like, come on, please. And then like I open up my phone and I go to order my Uber home because obviously I got an Uber there, and he also offered to drive me to the wine bar, by the way. And he mentioned he'd been drinking all day, and he drove to the wine bar, by the way. And thank God I didn't let him drive me to the wine bar and drive me home. So I was ordering my Uber, and then I could like physically see that he was getting annoyed, and he was like annoyed I was ordering like the Uber. And I was just like, thank you so much. Like, I really appreciate it. And he was like, well, you're ordering an Uber. I was like, yeah, like I'm going home, like I'm not going out. He's like, no, I thought you were going out. I was like, no, like I literally said like I can't, I have work, I'm going home. And then he comes and sits on the side of the booth that I'm sitting on and like puts his arm around me. And like at this point I'm like, oh my fucking God, like get me the fuck out of here, like my Uber cannot come fast enough. And I'm like trying to like say like thank you so much, and like dude had the audacity to sit there and ask me for a kiss. After all of that, after getting angry, talking about our future kids, our life together, after saying he's drunk, he sits there in the booth, and I can tell he is absolutely like drunk at this point. Like we ordered a bottle of red wine, and he was pounding it back like he was drinking a vodka Red Bull. Like, you're supposed to sip wine, you're supposed to enjoy that shit. He was pounding it back like he was drinking a goddamn cocktail. Like, brother had a fucking mission to get drunk. And I don't know if it was the nerves, but still, that is like one of the most unattractive things to me ever. So I like order and he literally has his arm around me asking to kiss me, and I go, no, like, no, I don't kiss on the first date, which like I don't. And like, I really didn't want to fucking kiss him. Like, honestly, like maybe like I'd kiss on the first date. It's like I really connected with the person and I could tell they were like a good person that I wanted to see again. But I was never going to fucking see him again. I knew that like 30 minutes into the date. I was just like, fuck no. I am absolutely fucking done. I go, no. And then like, I kind of like push him off me and I'm like, I have to go. Thank you though. And then he walks me out and I give him a hug and then I go into my Uber. And then I am in my Uber questioning every single, life decision I've ever made to get there. And I was like, holy fuck, I've never been on such a bad date. But you know what? I'm thankful that experience happened to me because, I know what to tolerate and what not to tolerate. And I should have known not to tolerate it before, but the people pleaser in me is like, oh, I feel bad, blah, blah, blah. Get that stupid little bitch out of your head telling you to feel bad about anything that makes you uncomfortable or that you don't want. You don't need to tolerate it. Let's say it one more time. You don't need to tolerate it at all. Whatso-fucking-ever. My God. So going back, going back to touch on the topic of being blunt and wanting people to be blunt with me, because I would rather you tell me you want nothing to do with me and you hate me rather than just ignore me. And that maybe comes from my sense of abandonment issues. I just fucking hate being ignored. So he messaged me. I waited a few days to respond. He messaged me again, responding, and he said the text message was basically, hey, sorry, I was too sauced on our date. I would love to see you again if you're down. And basically, I responded, hey, sorry for the late reply. I've been so busy with work. It was an interesting first impression, and I do appreciate the apology. But I do want to say thank you for your time, but I don't think there was a connection for me. Wishing you luck with everything. And I think I earned a notch in my belt, my big girl belt, for growing up and learning and not people pleasing and being straightforward. And rejecting people can sometimes feel so fucking horrible for us people pleasers because we never want to make anyone upset ever, because that's what people pleasing is. We want to keep everyone happy, every single person happy, even if they hurt us in some way or we don't even like them. We just need to keep everyone happy. And you know what? That's not our fucking job. It is not my job to keep you happy. Okay? Like it is not. It just isn't. And it's not anyone's job to keep anyone happy. It's your job to be a good person. That's it. Being a good person. That is what everyone's job should be. And some people are just fucking shitty people, but most people are good people. That's what your job is. That's what is expected of you. That's it. And being a good person is motherfucking free, bitch. So yeah. I earned a notch in my big girl belt, and I'm very proud of myself because rejecting people is sometimes super hard. And, I didn't do it a lot, in my past life. I say that like before, like in high school and stuff, but you're in high school, you live and you learn. Oh my God, we're like touching up on 30 minutes here, and I feel like I could talk for so much longer, but maybe we should keep these topics for the next episode rather. But yeah, let's touch on being newly single as well. I feel like being newly single and being independent, and you can be independent in a relationship as well, but I'm like a newly sense of like I'm by myself for the first time in my entire life. Like, well, okay, not my entire life. It feels like my entire life because like it's my entire adolescence. I had a boyfriend pretty much. Like I'm 26 years old. I'm a young adult. Yes, a young adult. Some bitches would argue that I'm old, but listen, 26 is still young, okay? And you don't realize that until you hit 26. You feel like you're 21 and you look at everyone over 25 and be like, damn, they're old as fuck. And I'm like, oh my God, they're literally just like, they're big babies like I was, because holy fuck, I think COVID as well took a lot of like, years away from me mentally, because I feel like my life was just on pause for 3 years. So like maybe like mentally I feel 23 instead of 26, but that's neither like here nor there. But being independent and being single, I have a chicken on my lap. Everyone say hi to the chicken. Being independent and being by yourself really not only makes you, but forces you to grow up and do a lot of things by yourself, and it really is a true growing experience. And I genuinely wish I went through it earlier, but you know what? I can't really control that. That's my life. And I think next episode, I think I really, really want to touch on what I've learned as being a newly single woman in my mid 20s. And then, like, just even like apartment living or living on your own, and you know, going out and doing things by yourself as an individual, and individuality, and learning to become your own person, because I think I was the type of person to become lost in a relationship. You really become lost in the other people, and your person becomes your entire life, and you completely lose your sense of self. And that's not only for my past relationship, but every single relationship that I've ever been in, because I think I'm so, you know, I love love so much that I idolize it, and I try to make it perfect, and I try to make everything in my life perfect because I'm a perfectionist. And it's really, really damaging to be so lost in the other person and forget who you are. Remember who you are. And I think that's what we're going to talk about in our next episode. But yeah, oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. Time flies when you're having fun. Am I right? Am I freaking right? But thank you guys so much for joining me on the second episode of Getting My Shit Together. My shit's not together. Will it be together soon? Maybe, probably not. Are you getting your shit together? Yes, no, maybe. Okay. Well, we can do it together. All right, guys. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.